let's get rolling. All right, all right. Welcome, everyone. This is Joe Martinez. This is
Yes.
our Thursday morning production call. Man, we got a good topic today.
Mm-hmm.
And before we get into it, I just want to make sure we are all set for success on this call. So I love to go over a couple of things. One, this is an hour-long call. So I don't want you to sit in here and not get any information. Highly,
You're
highly
going to go talk
suggest
to.
you get a pen and paper so that you can take some notes. We're going to go over a whole bunch of stuff. Also, highly recommend do not change your entire appointment based on everything you hear today. Right, you are already helping families. You're already right doing what you need to do. The You don't want to switch everything out. What you want to do is grab about two or three things from the call, right, and start implementing it into your appointments. Right, the whole thing is right. The hard part is taking your notes and then putting them into place in your appointment, right? And right, so just if you grab two or three things, it makes it so much easier. Like, hey, you know what? I'm not doing that, or that will help me help another family, right? And start implementing those little things. My brother says it so well, right? Just grab two or three things from what you learned and put that into your appointment. Don't go and revamp your entire appointment. And then what we humbly ask, if anything does help you help another family, if you could post that on band. We are a huge community inside the Cook Master, and other agents do see y'all post, right? Like, hey, I use this and it's helped me help another family. They really do get to see that from you. And then they go put it into their appointments, and that's how we all learn together and we move fast. So that's our humble ask, and we'll get started. So we got three topics. Um, I'll go over all three of them and then we'll dig into each of them. So the first one's going to be mental reset. So write that down, mental reset. This is right, man. I love what Ken was talking about, putting it out in the universe, being 100% committed. And mental reset, we're going to go over some of the stuff that we've learned over the years in books that we have read. But basically, resetting yourself before every single appointment, right? What we simply do is we help a family, right? The best way to help a family is just to be the best version of yourself, right? We are all at different levels, and it's never about running a perfect appointment. It's about running the best appointment that you can wherever you're at, right? And that's what a really good mental reset will do, and we'll go over a whole bunch of stuff to help y'all out with that. The next one's going to be locking it down. This is super important. This is a new topic, not the lockdown, but a new topic I want to make sure we start hitting because of the way Symmetry is now doing leads. So, in case y'all don't know, if you're getting brand new A leads, 17 days later, another agent is touching them. So, we are already experiencing, right? Like, if I get a lead, have had calls from several of our agents saying, hey, Joe, I just called this lead, right? It's a CIB, and it sounds like you're already working with them, right? If you are not locking down your appointment properly, someone's going to go write your business or take it away from you, right? So I want to make sure we're covering the lockdown, right? And that's just a Symmetry thing. I want y'all to understand we ain't the only insurance mortgage protection company out there. If you thought we were, we ain't. There's a ton. How many of y'all have ever had a policy randomly cancel and then ignore your phone calls? Never answer you again. Somebody came in behind you and took that client, right? And so we're going to give you a couple of things to make sure that doesn't happen, and hopefully again keep a lot of business. Last year was one of my best years with chargebacks, so I only had 5 clients cancel last year out of everything I wrote. That is extremely high. That is literally the best year I have ever had. But we are really good at locking it down, building rapport, and making sure the client always calls us back if something happens. So we'll cover that. And then the final one is referrals. So again, I tell y'all, I create these subjects or topics because I suck. In case y'all don't know, I just work really hard. I am not the best producer. There's a ton of really good producers out there. Kevin Walder, Val Zarn, Elijah, right? Like I just work, right? Like I just try to keep it super simple. I am not the best. I'm just very consistent. And so the referrals I want y'all to know is because I'm working on referrals. I am horrible at referrals, but man, I'm telling you, there's a lot of value there. So I've been working on them all January. right? Because we're trying to run as many live appointments as we can. And so I've been doing it all 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it is, and finally got a referral on Saturday. Wrote them this past Tuesday. There is nothing like a free lead for, I think it was like a $1,600 app, paid the next day on a free lead. There is nothing better. So I want to make sure we bring that value to y'all on referrals. And again, this is very interactive. It's hard for me to keep up with the chat. Feel free to unmute, long as it's topic related, right? We want to answer any questions that y'all may have. So we'll get started. Mental reset. I want to hit a couple of things. One, the book of the month. Okay. If you are not reading the book of the month, you don't understand what we do. And what do I mean by that is, so when I had a car wash before, it was a physical job, right? Like our skill set was how fast can we wash a car, dry it, shampoo the carpets. Like it was physical. Can we be ready, David, to work in 120-degree weather, right? Like it was mentally fit or physically fit, right? In the restaurant business, our skill set was, right, can we cook a proper steak, right? Our skills in the kitchen. Here, this is a mental skill, right? Like you get beat up. You want to know why you don't dial 200 dials in a day? It's because you're mentally getting beat up, right? Like you get 4 or 5 no's. I literally hear our agents on the phone, right? When they're unmuted, David, right? And they get that third person to tell them no, you hear the right? And y'all have to recognize that. If you're not recognizing that, you're missing what we do. This is mental. This is so mental. How many of y'all have produced at a decent rate and then all of a sudden go into a dry spell, right? I have all of December. Y'all think I'm doing great this month? December, I wrote 9 apps for 10 grand. It was horrible, right? And I swear to it felt like I was working twice as hard in December. But this is a mental thing, and you have to get out of your own head. You can't do it by yourself. I promise you. Don't try to figure it out by yourself. It's reading the book, and here's a couple of tricks. Okay, that Chris Cook taught me these. Right? It was one, making sure you're reading 10 pages. Here's the important part: only 10 pages. Right? Because a couple of y'all are like, no, I'm going to read through the whole thing. You ain't going to get what you need to get. It's like we're training y'all right now on this production call. Write 2 to 3 things down and apply it to your business. And it's the same thing for 10 pages a day in the morning. Because here's a different routine. Okay. I have personally read in the evenings instead of the mornings. That means I start working and I'm dialing and I'm getting hung up on. People are telling me all kinds of stuff. I start getting upset. An agent's calling me. They're asking me for help. I think I'm getting frustrated. I'm in a bad mental state. I'm frustrated and I pick the phone back up, David. I ain't booking a single appointment. I ain't. I am in a bad headspace. It is better to stop dialing and go read your 10 pages. We had a joke in our office before. It was drop and give me 10 pages. If you are being negative, if you are in a bad spot, drop and give yourself 10 pages. I promise you there's a ton of value there. The difference is if I read my 10 pages in the morning, I am already preparing my mental brain, right, to say, hey, this is going to be tough, but you can do it. Hey, through no's, the yeses are there, right? Like every path to success is through failure, right? This is the value of reading your 10 pages in the morning. I promise you, I have never read a book before Symmetry. I was not a reader. I can't stop reading at this point because I know the value that it brings to my business and myself. But you put it in your habits to get your 10 pages in the morning. There is nothing out of everything I tell y'all today for mental, right? There is nothing better than reading 10 pages. If you don't have the book of the month right now, again, you're missing what we do. This is 100% mental game. Here's the cool part. You can start today. Order the book on Amazon. You get it in 2 or 3 days, and you just simply start reading. A couple of really good books, if you haven't read them, highly suggest Go for No. And then one of my favorites is Never Split the Difference when it comes to sales. So Never Split the Difference, Go for No. Those are great books to get started. right? To just, again, understand what we do. We negotiate with families every single day and we go for no, right? Like our job is not for a yes. If you think you are dialing to get a yes, again, you're missing what we do. We resolve leads. And the only way you resolve a lead is you have to get a no, right? So I always love to talk about with so many of us start with 60 leads, right? Don't ever have more than 60 leads in your system because it's going to be crazy dials if you do. But if a brand new agent started, Kevin, if I got 60 leads today, right? And if there are any type of bonus leads in those 60 leads, based on our numbers, I'd be happy to book anywhere from 6 to 8 appointments out of those 60 leads. That's the book rate because they're bonus leads. Understand that number. What I think everyone forgets is that means you have 52 to 54 no's. That is what you're trying to resolve, not find your 6 to 8 appointments. You need to find 52 to 54 no's as fast as possible. So if you're not putting up your 200,000 a day, the same production that you should have written 2 apps, maybe 3, you're going to write over the period of a month versus a year. And that's what you have to fall in love with. I am not looking for my yeses. I'm looking for my no's because you have to be able to grab the lead and throw it away, right? You have to put, they answered and they said they're not interested. That is more important than a yes. You'll have to understand that this is a numbers game. It is not about the yes, it's about the no. And you got to know your numbers. So if you get a batch size of leads, whatever that lead is, right? You have to know the ratio that you should be getting, and you're going for the no's. How fast can you start resolving all these folks so that you can get those all out of the way? So that, because remember, every single week you are a business, you have to get new inventory. So the really bad part is if you don't resolve your leads, if you don't go get all your no's, and you still have 40 out of your 60 leads by the end of Friday, Saturday you're supposed to get another 60. Now you're at 100 leads. Good luck, right? You have to resolve your leads. Now you're backed up. So it is so important to get that no and throw that lead away. Maria?
So once we get that yes, do we stop what we're doing and work that lead or continue dialing?
What do you explain that to me? What do you mean a yes?
Okay, so I got a yes, set an appointment for, I don't know, say 5 o'clock. If I dial them
Mhm.
at 9 and got the yes. Yes, I'm interested. And I get some information from them. Do I just stop what I'm doing, stop dialing and looking for more no's, or do I just start working on that estimate
So
at
so
that
why
time?
would you stop and what would you be doing?
That's what, okay, so what I'm asking is I I called a bunch of people, got a bunch of no calls, right? Or somebody said no,
Mm-hmm.
right? Nobody answered. Then somebody answers and say like, "Yes, I'm interested." And then so I get their information. I go through the script, get some information. Do I start working on their estimate and their lead and their information for their appointment, or do I continue to look for no's and maybe work all my estimates at the end of the day?
Okay, great question. I love it. Right. So if you're a brand new agent, and really, I personally still run it like this. I don't book for today. So I don't have luck, right, on the same day appointments, especially if you're a brand new agent. In fact, if you're a brand new agent, don't book for today. Because what you want to do is you want to book your appointments for tomorrow. Remember what we teach. You want to be at $200. You want 6 appointments for tomorrow. So as soon as you start booking, what I recommend, if you book a 3 o'clock tomorrow, right now you know where to start, right? Because you want all your appointments condensed. So you book your 3 o'clock, your next appointment should be 4 o'clock, your next one should be 5, your next one should be 2 o'clock, right? You want them every hour on the hour. So don't stop until you finish your dial session, right? Until you get to your 200 dials. Again, highly suggest, every AO is a little bit different. I highly suggest you book for tomorrow. The reason you want to do that, Maria, is because you're supposed to prep with your upline. Don't try to figure this out by yourself. So finish your dials, have all your appointments, have all the information, make sure you're getting all the health questions, how much the mortgage is, right? When they were diagnosed and all that good stuff. And then when you're done dialing for today, you reach out to your mentor and you say, hey, okay, I got 4 appointments. Can we prep? And that way, that allows your mentor either tonight or tomorrow morning to have plenty of time to prep with you, right? And then that's a really good routine to be in as a new agent.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
absolutely. That was a great question. Um, right. So what else, right, can we do mentally to make sure we're the best version of ourselves? Right. Reading the book, having a really good conversation with your mentor. Again, highly suggest that. Right. Before you start your day, you should be reaching out to your mentor. Hey, this is what I have going on today, right? Maria, that was a great question. Hey, I have 3 appointments, help prep for them, right? So that you're excited. Now, a couple of things for a mental reset. So, if you've never read The Millionaire Mindset, it talks about what professional athletes do, especially like for the Olympics, right? For the NBA, NFL, any professional athlete, they actually teach them to visualize their win because it is so important to start attracting that energy. Again, y'all gonna have to read Millionaire Mindset, the secret, right? Believe this or not, I'm telling you, you can attract wins. Okay. If y'all have heard the story of strawberry milk, I call it strawberry milk. You can call it Jesus, baby Jesus, strawberry milk, law of attraction, attracting the universe, getting what you want. I promise you, it is real though. And you have to be ready to accept it. You have to understand though, if you don't prepare to accept it, you ain't going to get an app. So if you're trying to run an appointment today and you've never prepped, so you haven't even looked at what carrier, you haven't even logged into the carrier, you don't know the options, and it's in 30 minutes. And David, you're my upline, and I'm calling you 15 minutes before my appointment, and I'm gonna prep for my. You ain't getting an app. I promise you, you didn't tell the universe you were ready for it. You ain't prepared for it. You don't even know how to log into the carrier. So you're going to call David, and David's going to say, hey, you're going to have to go write term 125. And you're like, oh, what's in 10 minutes? And you don't know how to log into the carrier. Why would that appointment say yes? I promise you, you will say things in your appointment that you can't hear, but the client can hear to make sure you don't get the app because you're scared, you're nervous. Don't prep, right? Or don't I always say don't practice with the client. You have way too many hours in the day. Why would you practice with the client? Would you want a doctor to practice on you? Would you want a lawyer to defend you in practicing mode? No, right? You want a professional. You are a professional. We make way more money than a doctor and a lawyer. And if you want to earn that kind of money, you better act like it, right? That means preparing for it mentally. Again, it's crazy, right? Like for me, I have a little routine. I write all the clients down. My favorite thing to do is I write down the R and the A for the routing number and account number. Call me crazy, but if I don't write the R and the A, I won't get the app. It's a proven fact, I promise. Right? At least for me. I have the carrier already pulled up on my computer screen. I am mentally ready and telling myself I'm going to get this application. So a couple of really cool things to do, right, is what's your goal? So if you don't have a goal, you can't strawberry milk your win today. If you don't have a goal, right, we always talk about what's your goal for the month, right? If you're a brand new agent, should be issuing 5,000 in business. That's 2 apps a week, right? If you don't even have a goal of what you want, how are you supposed to visualize it so you can see your win? Right? So make sure you have a goal with your mentor. You shouldn't just be waking up today or this week saying, hey, I'm just going to dial and hopefully I get an app. No, it should be, what's my goal? 2,500 for the week, 3 applications, get them issued this week. You got to have a goal so that you know what you're running for, right? And then scale it to whatever level you're at. My goal right at my level is I want $15,000 in deposits every single month. I mean, every single week. I have it written down. I see every single month, every single day. I see what deposits to my. I'm visualizing. In fact, yesterday in my tracker, David, I put, hey, I'm a little behind, so I put Americo $4,000. I'm like, that's what's going to hit tonight. I got the email today or last night at 1:30 in the morning, $3,985. Call it whatever you want. I strawberry milk that deposit. right? Like I'm telling the universe what I want and what's coming my way. And you have to do the same thing for this production, right? So a great little trick we would always do, David, is I get hot when I talk. is hey, today I'm writing 6 applications. Today I'm writing 6 applications. I'm going to sit with 3 families and I'm going to write 6 applications. I tell myself that every single day. Today I'm helping, right? I'm going to write 6 applications. Where they come from, I don't know. I got plenty of appointments. Somebody's going to say yes in the process, right? You have to mentally want this stuff, right? And then the
Or they
best
call
way
you.
is right. And then we have routines, right? We talk about making sure you attract the energy. Again, create your own routine, do something that works for you, right? Everyone's a little bit different, right? I'm religious. I like to say a little prayer. I clear my mind. I write down everything and I have to be ready for my appointment. I have a little money tree. I kiss it before I leave the house every single morning. I'm kissing James's right now, David. I think that's a secret this month. He's really upset. Right? But again, I literally do the same thing every single day. I have a really good routine to visualize and mentally be ready to help the families that I'm going to sit with. And then one of the biggest things is visualizing the win. Let me tell you, I can have 10 appointments booked and I can have 6 back-to-back no-shows. That sucks. It's horrible, right? Or one picks up the phone, or I already get a text message for 2 appointments ahead, and they're like, "Yeah, we looked into this. We don't want this. Don't call me." Right? Like it gets so sucky really fast, right? And I have to be ready for it. So a great thing, again, they teach us, right? What athletes do is you just literally clear your mind. Look, I don't care if you're fighting with your spouse, arguing with your kids, your dog dropped all the water, right? You need to pay your bills, you're behind on whatever, right? You have to be the best version. So I literally, before every single appointment, I stop what I'm doing. I don't just jump into my next one. I get up, I fill my water or my coffee, right? I sit back down, I clear my mind, and I just tell myself, I'm going to be the best version of myself for this family. I'm going to literally listen to what they need. That's where you find the pivots. That's where it's amazing of how many yeses you will get when you're just simply listening to how you can help them. But you have to mentally clear yourself on that. Right? Again, visualizing. Band is there's so much power in band. I promise you. Look, there's I think what did Lauren say? There's like 900 people in band. If y'all are in that chat, something like that. Do y'all realize there's only like 15 of us that post stuff? Like, where are y'all? Leverage it. Y'all want to know some of the leveraging power I love to teach an agent? It is no magic. Y'all have seen Nicole, Cody, Amber, Nate. Y'all want to know how to become a top producer? Post it on Band that you are a top producer. You have to attract it. Susan, do you think you're a top producer? Do you want to be a top producer? Post it on Band. You got to ask for it. You have not because you asked not. I promise y'all. I promise y'all. Y'all got to allow yourself to have this kind of energy to attract. Again, call it whatever you want, universe, a law of attraction, molecules. We're all made of the same whatever. I'm telling you, it works, right? But start writing. It has been an insane journey the past 3 months to watch agents put, I'm writing 10K, I'm a top producer, and magically they're at 9,500 for the week. Is it magic though? Right? Like you got to visualize this win. Again, I write down, again, I love to tell an agent, I'm going to write 6 apps today. I write 10K a week. Like Band after this call should explode with at least 99 people because there's 99. Well, I'll even post it. So all 99 of us. If you don't type it, that means you don't want it. I promise you. Right? Like, is it your ego? Do you know why you don't type it? Because I can tell you why I used to not type it because I didn't think I could do it. Or I was just embarrassed that at the end of the day, at the end of the week, David, if I posted I'm going to do a 10K week, I was only going to have 5 or only 4. How many of y'all would want 5 or 4 though this week? Right? Like don't get so stuck on I didn't get exactly what I wanted, but I'm still winning. right? Like you got to allow yourself to do that. I promise y'all this stuff works. It is insane. We are not doing anything special. We're just attracting it because we're ready to roll. Right. My challenge to all of y'all, you're a 10K producer, you are a top producer, right? Whatever you want. I want to deposit blank. I want a 50K a month. I want whatever, post it and band. The only thing you do when you post it and band is you allow us to help celebrate you. You allow us to cheer you on. One of the hardest things, or the things that they teach us in Symmetry as a leader, is hey, promote and celebrate your agents. James, I'll talk about you on this one, right? One time me and him are arguing, right? Like he's like, man, I'm like, dude, create a like I want to be able to celebrate you. And he's like, well, I'm not doing well. I'm like, it's not my job to create a win. It's your job. You have to go create a win. A win is simply saying, I'm gonna go win. Post it on band and allow us to celebrate you. Don't, but why are you a secret? There's 900 people on band, 16 people post. Me, Jordan, James, Amber, right? Like whatever those for you folks are. Why are you not posting on band when you write an application, when you set an appointment, what your dials were for today? The only reason you won't is because you're embarrassed. Get past that. We're not here to make fun of you. We're here to celebrate you. We're here to lead you on. It's tough. It is mentally tough. So if we know it's mentally tough, why wouldn't we do the one thing that will mentally celebrate us? If you're having a bad week, I'm not saying write a big old story about how your week is. I'm just simply saying post your activity so that we can say, hey, you're doing the right things. You got this, right? Don't put a crazy old story on there either. Just post, this is where I'm at for the week. I'm going to win, right? Because if you just put a whole bunch of negative stuff too, that's exactly where you're going to stay. Don't post that. Post, I'm going to win this week. I'm at 200 dials. I've booked 10 of them. None of them has shown up, but I'm telling you, the next ones are going to show up. You'll be amazed of how that stuff works. Mental reset. It works. Get a routine. Again, don't do this randomly. You should have I even have, look, my blue shirt. I love my blue shirt. I write apps when I wear my blue shirt, right? Call it whatever you want. I'm telling you, look, I write apps with glasses, right? I used to not wear my, for whatever reason this year, it was like, man, if I wear glasses, I write apps. New routine, right? Call it crazy, call it whatever. I'm telling you, you just need a routine that's going to work for you. It's different for absolutely everybody. Amber, right? You always talk about yours. If you want to share some of yours.
Yeah, so mine's gonna sound silly, right? But I like to have fun, and I'm an introvert, so I don't like necessarily like tell everyone about it. But my morning routine involves me waking up, taking my dog Clyde outside to go to the bathroom, right? Because he's a dog. And then we come in, I read my 10 pages. We have a little like I put one song on my Google device back there. Because if I say it, she's gonna answer. But I put one song on and we just have a mini dance party and then I go about my day and it hypes him up, gets some energy out of him, and then that energy, right, I get to absorb that. Like, yeah, he's having a good day. Sit down at my desk, my money tree's right here, give it a good old kiss and manifest my goals for the day.
I'm telling you, right? Find your routine, whatever it is. Make sure it's something that makes sense, right? Preparation's a big one. I'm going to write some applications. Be very, very specific, right? I'm going to write 3 apps for 3,000. I'm going to write 5 apps for five, like whatever it is. Be very specific. Write it down. Write, see it somewhere. Have it posted wherever you want. I'm telling you, it works. And band, man, I wish y'all would all leverage band. We want to celebrate y'all and you don't let us. Like, please post it on band, what you want for the day, what you're going to go do. Here's the really cool part is band is a great accountability partner. Because if I post, I'm going to dial $1,000 this week. Well, you're probably more prone to dial $1,000 this week. Now, here's the really cool part. If you didn't, it was more than likely because you probably got to about $700 because you booked too many appointments, you sat with too many clients, and you wrote some business so you didn't have time. We ain't going to be upset you didn't get $1,000. We're going to be celebrating the crap out of you writing $5,000 for the week. right? Like leverage it, leverage it. Again, there's 99 of y'all on here. I pray that after this call, we watch all of y'all what you want for this week and this day and this month, because that's what band is for. And that's one of the best routines. I wish y'all were here about 6 years ago. I think we used to use, Steve, what was it? Group Me or something like that
We
for
went here. Yeah.
for weeks. So I started in 2018 in April. David, probably about my first month in. After that, I was like, I would see the Symmetry leaderboards. I'm like, man, we can write 10 grand in a week. For months and weeks, I would post, I'm gonna write 10K this week. I'm gonna write 10K this week. I never did. It took months to get to that level. But let me tell you, I became one of Cook's highest producers, because it went from 2,000 a week to 3,000 a week to 6,000 a week to $8,000 weeks to $10,000 weeks. Did it take months? Absolutely. But let me tell you, every single Saturday I posted that. And every single Saturday, Steve and everyone, Jordan would be like, hey, you got this week, Joe. Why would I mentally try to do this by myself when there's a bunch of us here that want you to win? I would get random phone calls like, hey, man, I saw you wrote another 2 apps. Where are you at for the week? That would get me so excited. Allow us to do that for you. Do not be, if you wrote an app and we don't know you wrote an app, man, I'm telling you, I promise you, shame on you. Like, post it on Band. It means so much for us to help you celebrate. And you don't know how much you need it. I promise you. You may say, hey, I don't need the attention. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Because if you ain't writing $15,000 a month and depositing 8 to 10 grand in your bank account, I promise you, you need it. I promise you, you need it more than you think, and allow us to do that with you. So that's mental reset. Again, visualize it, band, right? Like, again, I pray from now on we see a ton of band posts so that we can watch y'all win. Top producer, I'm gonna write 10K. I'm gonna dial blank, right? Be very specific, right? Because don't just say I'm gonna dial blank, because that means you're not gonna get APV, right? And you're not gonna help a family. So that means you will go post 1,000 dials, but we want you to write apps. So be very specific. How much money is going to deposit to your bank account? Like, what are you shooting for? I'm going to hit my raise. I'm getting my 85. I'm going to slingshot. I'm going to, right? I'm going to hit team leader. I'm going to hit key leader, right? I'm going to hit agency owner. Watch, let us celebrate you. I post my numbers almost every day on my 130 run right now. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. But you know what I can depend on is y'all.
And you have to believe what you're posting. You have to want it enough to believe it.
That's so good. Better believe it. I promise you can do it. Promise. Right? So the next one, locking it down. Again, why this one's so important right now is just because the way Symmetry is doing their leads, right? After 17 days, it's going to another agent if you didn't go out there and close it or sell it, right? And most importantly, in case you didn't know, we are not the only mortgage protection carriers or IMO that's doing this. There's other people that are doing this. That's how when you call a client, they're like, man, I got so many letters. They ain't all from Symmetry. Other people, other companies do this too, right? So we want to make sure you lock down your business, right? And that no one can come in behind you and take your business. That is super, super important, okay? Another IMO, another agent from another company can call your client because they also filled out a form for them or called it in, right? And they're going to say, look, I hope all of y'all are doing best practices, right? And doing the right thing when no one's looking, but other people don't. Other agents will call your client and be like, that doesn't sound like a good program, or that doesn't sound right. We can probably get you a cheaper one. And they will take your client. Okay. So there's a couple of ways to make sure you lock it down and that doesn't happen to your business. So one is building rapport. Do they know you? Are you just a machine giving quotes and writing an app, or do they know who you are? One of the strongest things you can possibly do is have them remember you and build a relationship with you. They should be clients for life. Okay. When I get off the phone with or Zoom with my client, they know everything about me. They know I've been divorced. They know I'm back with my same wife. They know I got engaged on a carrier trip. They know I got 4 kids. They know we like to go off-roading. They know my brother's in the other office. They know absolutely everything, that I'm from Texas, that, right? They know everything about me. We're literally friends in an hour. right? If I'm writing an app, they're my friends in an hour, right? Giving, right? It's making a deposit before you do with a withdrawal, right? Before I'm asking information from them, I'm giving them information about me. Like, yeah, I'm from Texas, right? I moved out here. Now I'm out of Arizona. So it looks like is this a new home? Where did you move from? Right? I gave a deposit before I get a withdrawal. And again, just building really good rapport. We teach you to do it at the very beginning, right? Just as routine through your appointment, but you should be building rapport your entire appointment, right? Like they love me, right? And a couple of little things to, hey, I think I did a really good job, right? If one of your clients called you, if an app you wrote 2 weeks ago, right now, if you saw that phone number ringing, would you be scared? Why would you be scared if that phone was ringing? Somebody answer that.
Because they want to cancel.
Yep. If you feel that, you got work to do, right? I always tell you, if when my phone rings and it's one of my clients, I'm ready to pick that phone up. It's either something's wrong or they need more help. They call me. It's like, in fact, I had one last week again. They called me that, hey, I know you said it emailed me, but I can't find the application. He just simply wanted me to help him find his application. I'm not scared to pick up the phone. On Saturday, because I've been doing one of the things we're going to teach y'all today, right, is referrals. My client texted me and said, hey, my daughter's interested in IUL. Can you please help her with that? Right. Again, building enough rapport is going to help. That's the number one thing to lock it down, because what that allows you or allows your client to do, I don't care who calls them next. I don't care what prices they show them. They will not change policy just because they like you more. That is priceless power right there. Any one of my clients will not cancel their policy because they're just simply going to say, no, I trust Joe and he's got me. They will literally call me and tell me that. They would call me, David, and they'd be like, hey, Joe, this guy just called me and they were trying to tell me this and this. I'm not going to lie, Joe. I sat through the appointment scene today. So they said they could save me a little bit, but you know what? I didn't like him, Joe. I trust you. I have literally received those kind of phone calls. If you are not, you just got work to do. That's it, right? Make sure you are building plenty of rapport. Another really cool thing I like to say is, do they remember you on the 15th? Right? Because remember, they get a piece of paper or an email with a policy. It's not like when you go buy a TV at Best Buy and you have a $150 payment, and every time you walk into your living room, you're like, oh, I get to watch the Chief game tonight, baby. Right? It's not something that they can physically see. It's something that gets put away in a drawer. So do they remember you on the 15th? When they look at their bank account, they're like, holy crap, $250. Joe's got me. Do they think that of you? Right? Again, if you're getting canceled policies, if you're having problems with chargebacks, I promise you that's what it is. Right? They didn't feel and they don't understand how you protected them and how you had their back. Just simply means you got work to do. Was I at that level always? Absolutely not. It has definitely taken me years. Let me tell you, 2019 was one of my greatest production years. It was also one of my hardest years because I got chargebacks. I got like clients asking me so many random questions. It was tough, right? Because I was going through the process of getting better, right? You just simply have to understand you got to go through that process and making sure you're locking it down really good. I want to hit on the 5 ways you're supposed to be locking down your appointment. Okay. Before I get into that, actually, I have what's next, right? So you've written the application, you got them approved. The what's next is so important to lock that baby down. The what's next is just explaining to them what's next, right? So I'm going to give you all my what's next. Again, make sure you have your own, what you like to do. But my what's next is like, sweet, David, Donnell. So both of those policies, all 4 of your policies were approved. So congratulations. I just want to let y'all know what's going to be next. Okay. So in the next couple of minutes, and it's a little bit late, so maybe not even until tomorrow, but you're going to get emails. You're going to get copies of the applications we just filled out. You're also going to get logins. We wrote Americo and we wrote Mutual of Omaha's, which are accidental. So you're going to get, right, all 4 separate emails. You're going to have logins to each one. It's going to let you create a username. You'll be able to go in there, access your application, change anything you want, bank dates and stuff like that, beneficiaries, if you ever need to. But remember, you always get to use me. Highly suggest you call me. I do that work for you, right? Unless you want to be on hold for like 30 minutes. I have direct access. But great way to call me, right, if you need any changes. Also, it's going to let you print your application, right? I don't suggest it's about 40 pages long. You're also going to get them in the mail. They're going to be big blue and white envelopes, all 4 of them. 2 of them are going to say Mutual of Omaha. The other 2 are going to say Americo. Highly suggest you write down what they're for, right? Because we got separate ones. So on one of them, right, this is the mortgage protection, right? This is going to pay $150,000 out. On the other one, this is the accidental for $200. Write it on front. I heard this really good trick, David and Danelle, and I loved it, right? Because we got several policies. And remember, you told me you had those other ones from Americo as well. So on that one, why don't you write down that's your burial cost? And on this one, write down 6 months worth of mortgage payments. That way, you know, right? And God forbid you're not here, right? But when your wife pulls it out or your kids pull it out, they know what they're for, right? Because, right, you got a lot of policies. That way they know exactly what they're for. Great little, and they're like, oh my God, I love that. That's a great idea. Because I got other policies for this, and this. Like, yep, why don't you on those policies as well, right? Write down. I heard that trick. I thought it was really good. And they're like, oh yeah, thank you, Joe. Perfect. You got those now. Next thing, I'm going to put in a stop for all those letters you're going to get in the mail. I know you get a ton of them, right? But at least from our company, I'm going to put a stop. You'll still get them in the next couple of weeks, but if you don't have to call them anymore, make sure you don't, because more people are going to call you, right? If anyone else does call you, tell them Joe Martinez already got you. The next thing is, right, if anyone ever talks to you about insurance or if you ever have any questions, remember, I do everything. Life insurance, burial costs, right, retirements, right, I can help with kids policies, whatever you like, mortgage protection. I do everything in the insurance world when it comes to life, right? So if you ever have any questions or somebody ever tells you anything, give me a call and I can look that up for you. Ain't nobody going to come and take my client, because somebody can show them something else and they're going to call, Joe, is this real or what's this price? Be like, yes, no, I can do that too, right? The only thing they did was stimulate my client to become another app, right? I dare somebody to call my client. The next thing, right, is, hey, so that'll happen. Make sure you save my phone number. Here's my cell phone. I want to make sure you have it again. Let me know once you save my number. And I want you to have my cell phone and my office number. They save it. Perfect. I'll text you one more time, Joe Martinez. Again, I also work off of referrals. So if you know anyone, right, I know we put your kids, if you think Michael wants me to look at his policy for him, I can look at that for him, right? But I do work off of referrals. If you know anyone else that bought a mortgage, right, I do specialize in mortgage protection. Oh yeah, this person bought a house too and blah, blah, blah. Yep. You can send them my information or just have me call them, right? I do everything in that side. So if you can send me somebody, right, I appreciate it if you think I did right by you. Any questions from there? Nope. Perfect. I'll see you, right? Call me if you need anything. That's how I locked that puppy down. 5 chargebacks last year. Okay. It works. You just got to be really good at it, right? It took me years to get that good, but I lock that puppy down like no tomorrow. Again, I'm not scared when my clients call me. They will call me. I have clients call me and be like, hey, looks like they weren't able to draft. I need to make sure they draft that policy. Right? You should feel that when you lock down those puppies like that. Right? And then the 5 R's, if you don't know the 5 R's, you should, but I'm going to give you the 5 R's, right? This is how you lock down an appointment really good. It's the reset, right? That means, right, that's also when you look at, hey, you told me you had a 401k with $1.5 million or $300,000 in there, David, and you said it was from your other job. Well, the cool part is, right, I got Michael Mushlin. He's my buddy in crime. He helps with folks, right? I'll be able to set you up and he can show you what to do with that money. They'll be like, sweet, I didn't know you can do that, Joe. Yep. Yeah, he does all my clients and he always takes care of a reset. Boom. Recruit. Hey, David, Danelle, you said Danelle's not working anymore and she was looking for something, right? Would she like to make some extra cash remote, right? From home as an insurance agent, just like I did? Y'all saw the process. Hey, yeah, absolutely. We in fact, we got several people on this call that have hired somebody off of an appointment. I think Nicole came from a Tickle appointment, right? Rugrats, hey, we also do children's policies, right? If you have any kids, let's look at those. The next one is replace. If you identified, right, they had any policy. In fact, my client last night, we're supposed to sit with them again because their policy just ended last year, and now it's increasing every single year for their life insurance policy. I'm like, hey, let's look at that. Pull that puppy out, and we'll sit next week and let me review it, and I can see if maybe I can beat it, maybe I can't, but I can at least tell you to keep it or not keep it. Right? Again, I ain't trying to take their business. I'm just trying to help them the best way possible. Right? And then the last one's going to be referrals. Before we get into that, Michael, you got your hand up.
Yeah, Joe, I just wanted to say when you were talking about the recruit, one of my new agents who's been on the huddles with us, Travis Morrison, is taking his exam next Tuesday, and he was an FIF reset that David sent me when he did the lockdown that you just said with one of, so he referred Travis over to me. Travis, look, we did his retirement plan in the FIF reset. Looked like he was a little short. I say, do you ever look at other ways to make money? He said, yes, I'd love to. So,
boom.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I'm telling you, this stuff works. Again, you don't have to adapt everything, right? But just start adding these little things. Right? It has taken me 7 years to get to the level that I'm at, right? Give yourself some grace. Just get better every single day. That's all you got to do. Every single day, just make sure you're better. So the next one, right, is referrals. Again, this is my weakest spot. That's why this is on the topic today, right? And then again, I've been working on it. And oh my God, I got a referral, David. Right? Like, it's not magic. We just have to get better every single day, right? I am not good at saying it. So what did I simply do is what I just told y'all. Now, every single appointment, I just simply make sure, right? Like, hey, David, so I also work off of referrals, right? If you feel I did you correct, right? Any brothers, looks like we put, right? And so here's some really cool tips. Where do I find referrals? Because this is my biggest problem, or why I don't like to ask, or where I get nervous. These are tricks and trades that I have heard over the years. Again, I just don't even put them in place, but I'm working on that right now, right? The really good one is the beneficiary. Okay. A great trick that I learned that I'm still not even doing, and I promise you, I'm going to do it. If y'all see me get more referrals, because I'm simply listening to my own advice. Right? Me and James laugh all the time. We're like, hey, look, we just do what we train and it works. Because we fall off all the time. Right? But a really good one is every beneficiary that you get, if it's not the spouse that's right there, in the beneficiary, that's for their phone number. Get the phone number. Guess what you just got? A referral with a phone number. Right? Not only do you got a referral with a phone number, you want to be the best version of yourself. Hey, David, right? We put your son, right? David Jr., he's your beneficiary. He's 42 as well, right? Like, hey, what I love to do for my clients is I like to call the beneficiary. Would you text him and let him know I'm going to call him, just kind of explain what we put in place so that God forbid something does happen, right? He knows exactly what to do and who I am. Boom. I heard that in a corporate overview. In case you don't go to corporate overviews, you're missing out. Great way, right? Get the phone number of the beneficiary. That is solid right there. And then you just simply tell them, hey, I'm going to reach out to them, let them know what the process is, right? Can you, David, text him that I'm going to call him and let him know how this works? Yep. Perfect. And you're not asking, you're telling them what the process is. David, the next step, we got your son as the beneficiary. If you can text him, let him know I'm going to reach out for him. I like to make sure I service you and your beneficiaries properly, David, right? I'm going to reach out to him and just simply explain, right, what would be the next step, give him my information. That way, God forbid, David, he doesn't have to hunt that policy down. Boom. I'm doing them a favor and I'm servicing them the best way possible, right? Kids, if they have kids, even though they're not the beneficiary, who are your kids? Can I reach out to them? Do they have life insurance, right? Friends and family, neighbors, those are great ones. Mortgage protection is such an in because everybody knows somebody that just bought a house. How many of y'all know somebody that just bought a house within 2 years? Literally everybody. We all have a ton of referrals in mortgage protection alone. And it's not about me just trying to call somebody and sell them life insurance. I'm like, hey, You bought a home. Did you get that mortgage protection? Do you ever see those letters in the mail? Yeah, I never respond to those. They're bullshit. I do that. Let me make sure I got you. Let me just do a mortgage protection appointment, see if you even need this coverage. A lot of folks don't need it, right? Whether they got $1 million in the bank account or a rich uncle. Well, I don't. I know you don't. That's why we do this. Boom. Everybody knows somebody that bought a home within the past 2 years. More than likely, why do you think bonus leads are fire? Because more than likely, so when I say more than likely, you got to understand 85% of them don't have mortgage protection because they either sat with a crappy agent or they just never responded to the letter. Why do you think marketing is 1%? Symmetry knows 1% of the letters they send out are the only people we get to talk to. Imagine if you can go grasp another 1% for free. That's what a referral is, right? Or going ask that, hey, who just bought a home? I don't know, James. I know you had a good little run with referrals, and dude, you've written back-to-back appointments on or apps, should I say, on clients. I mean, any tricks you do?
One was I actually got from another corporate overview as well. Is a hey, who do you or who are 5 people that you know right now that could benefit off this right now, off your top of your head right now,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you'll get a list. And worst case, you get 3. You ask for 5, you get 3. 2 you didn't have, and you get their names. And then hey, I don't want to be, I'm not a telemarketer. I'm not going to reach out. If you could just let them know I'm going to be reaching out to them, and that way they know who I am, and see when it works for them. So, and I kind of just fell off of that, but doing that is just being consistent with it. Just get you a lot of referral. One time I got, I think, up to 7 referrals back to back, referral off of referral off of referral, all the family members.
7. Think about that. That's at least $4,000 in free
A lot
commissions.
more actually, because they wrote
They
some
were
big
big
apps.
apps. But think about it, right? At bare minimum, $4,000, if not more, in free commissions because you're simply asking for a referral. Again, I'm preaching to the choir because I am horrible.
Rocky, let's go.
But I promise you, right? You're
Come
gonna
on.
watch more of those because I'm gonna do that. So I promise you, it works. David, you had your hand up too, buddy.
My comment was actually going to be very similar to James, but it's just the very simple language of, first of all, congratulating them on the protection that they put in place, putting them in the hero seat, and then asking them, who do you know that I should be having a similar conversation with? Because it allows them to, again, be the hero and say, my friend Sally should have a similar conversation so she can be just like me. Another, I'll call it low-hanging fruit, is who do you work with that should be having a similar conversation with me? Because you've already found out what they earn, what their benefits are, what work provides for them. It lends itself to a very easy conversation. And then worst case scenario, if you get no feedback from them, you can start peeling that onion a little bit of asking some more personal questions because you've built great rapport. You've kind of discovered what their hobbies are a little bit. So like I'll pick on Lee because I see he has a Chiefs shirt on. And if I had learned that through my appointment that Lee is a Chiefs fan, I may ask him, okay, Lee, so hypothetically, if I gave you 4 tickets to a Chiefs game, who are the 3 people that you would bring with you? Oh, wonderful. So those are obviously people that are important to you. Would you be comfortable with me reaching out to them to have a similar conversation that we just had?
Good. Like it. I'm telling y'all, dig into this stuff, right? These are really good money makers and money protectors, right? The lockdown, don't let somebody come and steal your business, right? The mental reset, I promise you, call it crazy. If you ain't a believer, you need to become a believer of attracting energy. Just that, right? Like you got to learn to attract. Like you came to this. Symmetry talks about this all the time. Like we're a self-development company that just happens to sell insurance. Okay. If you're not willing to self-develop, this place ain't for you. Like if you are pushing on reading your 10 pages in the book, this place ain't for you. I promise you. And I say that with so much love because there is so much power in that. You got to develop yourself. to allow, right? The thermostat, right? That's why we all, as producers, hit thermostats through the whole process. That's how come you have to read the same books over and over again, too. Because you go read Go for No. If you read it 2 years ago and you've now been doing it, it's different. It hits different. If you've read, right, Millionaire Mindset 2 years ago, and now you're making 100K, and last year you were making 50K, it hits different. Every single time I've read the same books over, I get different things out of it because I'm at a different level, right? And I promise you, you all got thermostats. If you've never made 100K, first you got to go cross that line because that's a thermostat you have, I promise you. And think of it as little as this. Have you even written 5,000 in production for the week? If you haven't, that's your first thermostat. What's the best way to do it is start posting and allowing us to raise your thermostat, right? I'm going to write 5,000 this week. I'm going to write 10,000 this week, and then go get it till you do, right? Like, here's the thing. You don't get paid until you go help a family. I can tell you this cold-heartedly. We love y'all, and we want you to win here. When we hired you, we made you a promise that you can make insane money here if you follow the system. We want to help you win, but you have to do the work, right? Like, you have to make a commitment because we ain't your boss. How many of y'all get a phone call from Joe Martinez in the morning and say, hey, have you clocked in? None of you, and you won't. It is not my responsibility. You want to know as a businessman, do you want to know one of the best things that I loved about this? I can hire as many of y'all as I want. And if you don't go to work, I don't have to pay your salary. That is not on me. I go to sleep at night every single night, very good, knowing I gave all of y'all 100%. And so do every single leader in our organization. You have to understand you got to go create a win. It's simple. Go work, right? Go put in your dials. Let us celebrate wherever you're at. Make sure you're calling your mentor, right? And these are great 3 little tips. I promise you, the referrals, there's fire. I just made $1,500 for free. It was the easiest appointment I ever ran, too. Let me tell you, referrals are the best. I just got on the phone. I'm like, hey, your mom said you were interested in an IUL. I got a miracle. They approve you instantly. She goes, sure. What does that look like? I'm like, how much coverage are you looking for? It literally took me 15 minutes, Michael, off of a referral to make $1,500. Go get you some. I promise you, there's a ton of them out there. Go get you some. All I did was say, here's the price. She's like, yeah, what did my mom do? I'm like, well, your mom did this. Okay, sweet. Well, yeah, let's go ahead and do this one, Joe. Perfect. Boom. I was like, holy crap, I'm missing the boat. I need to go get more referrals. This is insane, right? So I love it, right? Go practice these things. Again, if any of this stuff helped you, please post it on Band. And I hope after this call, there's a ton of y'all. There's 99 of y'all posting on Band what you want this week and what your goal is. I promise you it works. And be consistent at it every single day, every single week. What are you looking for? How many apps you're looking for? Like, attract it, because I promise you it works. So see y'all on the next one. Thanks.